Hello, everybody. As I said, nothing goes to plan, and it is, since I recorded it, been about 2, 3 weeks. The bike is still not running, mainly because it's doing weird shit, and I just have not had a huge amount of time to sit here and play with it. Don't mind my carb sync setup. When I say it's not running, it does it does idle, but it does not want to run. I do have a video of it kind of sort of working out, but unfortunately it does not. Now, I did take apart the carbs and put the rebuild kit in it. The issue is the rebuild kit I got, most of the parts were correct. Diaphragms were too big, not a huge ordeal because the diaphragms in those are actually pretty straight and clean. Now, the main issue that I am having is it runs, it idles, but if you rev it, it slams the idle to about 3.5 grand until it eventually comes back down to 1500. It also does not want to start without spray and a lot of throttle. I believe that's probably because the rebuild kit I got, it had two jet sizes, both of them were drastically too big. And I understand that some companies, they do make the numbering a little different for whatever convoluted reason they have. But the original carbs that are labeled at 75.5, these, the smallest ones I got were 110 and 115. For this bike, that is extremely out of range. Even with the pod filters, it does have a stock exhaust, and I think it has a little bit of a leak on the boots here. But even with that, those jets are so big, I think it's flooding the carburetors, just making it run really high and really rich, and then it eventually comes back down. I do have the OEM carbs that I'm probably just going to throw in there right now. I'll record all that for once. I will put the OEM jets back in it and clean them out a little bit because I know they're a little dirty. I know that the pilot screws were actually extremely dirty to the point where when trying to size them up, I didn't even have to. Hi, gotta do a little bit of voiceover here because when I originally recorded this, had a mild stroke, couldn't get my point across, and kept stuttering. What I am going to do is throw in the original carburetor jets in order to hopefully fix the rev hang and rev climb that the bike has whenever you rev it even a little bit. If it's not 100%, I can always mess with the fuel mix screws until I get the proper, whatever it might be, for the filters, jets for the carburetor. But to show you all what this is doing, it is turning over and obviously getting fuel. That would help if I turn the run key on. But that's all it's really doing. Even with the choke turn all the way on, it still only sputters. And that is it trying to find idle when it is running, and obviously getting way too much fuel from those jets because it might be running too lean, so it skips the main cycle and uses the main jets, which are way too big. That is one issue. I did now get a new clutch, and I do have a new lever and a new bolt that was completely stripped out and snapped. Somehow the previous owner cross-threaded it and then proceeded to just make it worse and worse and worse, trying to tighten it up probably. I did get it off. It did eventually snap, obviously. I obviously do not have the clutch lever on. There is no point since the bike doesn't even move. I did take off the master cylinder and both front calipers. One is sitting right there. I think someone was messing with it, so it's covered in old brake fluid. This is the other brake caliper that I have pulled apart. I am going to have to take some type of compressed air to see if I can get these two pistons out. They do not want to move whatsoever. And this is my problem child. The piston for this is completely seized in there. I have let it sit for days with PB Blaster inside, both the piston side and the spring side. It is completely seized. I have obviously been pulling on it with a pair of pliers, and nothing is making it move whatsoever. I will be using compressed air to see if I can get it to pop, but I am not sure if it even will, which is unfortunate, but a loss is a loss. I would love to be able to pull this apart, clean it, and get a rebuild kit for it, but if I can't, there is not a whole bunch I can do. Obviously, I'll just have to go get a new master cylinder, be it off another type of bike or a aftermarket OEM plus replacement that someone on Amazon probably sells that will probably end up killing me. Obviously, I am going to have to buy a new set of brake pads. This is the nicer set that came out of the cleaner of the two calipers. I have not even pulled that second caliper apart because it is covered in all types of gunk. Now I will be trying to preserve and keep these as clean as I can and preserve the paint on these, because both sides, even the really dirty side, the paint has not been eaten away at. There is some damage on the inside of the paint, which obviously no one's ever going to see that, and I can touch that up. Now, the master cylinder is a complete lost cause. If I can even use this master cylinder, I cannot save this paint, so I'll probably just end up sanding it all down, repainting it, or keeping it silver. I don't mind the silver look, but I think the black would go better with the bike as it was supposed to. Now, this is the brake caliper that I obviously have not taken apart. It is completely intact still. This is the dirtier of the two, and why I have not taken it apart yet. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of gunk, which I believe is from old brake fluid from the previous owner taking the brakes off and spilling it somewhere. And obviously the brake pads look a lot better than the other, but they are ruined because they've just been soaking in mess. Reason that I think it is not fork fluid, yet it is brake fluid on this, is because both of these bolts and the banjo screw were almost finger tight, little pressure, and it came right off from the brake stay. Meaning that most likely the previous owner pulled it off, maybe even put new brake pads on it, and then fluid got everywhere, they let it sit, and it just collected. I have no clue what happened to it. That's just my honest theory. Obviously, this bike has been a little bit more of a project and a headache than I originally anticipated, which is not a huge ordeal. It was $400. I can only complain so much, and I enjoy doing this. Now, obviously, there's a few things that I'm going to end up touching no matter what. I did put the new grips on, but they are not the right size. There's a lot of gap here, and I can buy domino grips for however much they are, which would fit correctly. But if I want to put the new handlebars on it, it doesn't really matter right now. I will need to somehow figure out how to replace that so that I can reset the trip so I don't randomly run out of gas, because this doesn't even have an idiot light. And obviously, I do still have, well, not obviously, but I do still have the issue of this light not working. I just haven't been bothered to buy the light yet. I am probably going to have to get some type of cover to go over this and point down the light so the DMV doesn't get mad whenever I do eventually register it and get insurance put on it so I can legally ride it around. I would love to do more common updates and more in-depth videos, but unfortunately I can only do so much with one hand, and I am using a phone so I can't strap it to my forehead. I'd also love to talk about this bike, but I cannot currently ride it because there is a mass recall on it that we don't know what's wrong with it yet, so I can't even fix it. But let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, then please like it. If you want to keep watching and see what I do next, please subscribe. I am not sure how frequently I will be able to upload videos or make videos for this bike, and eventually that bike whenever I can get it fixed. But I will try my best. I don't have a real upload schedule, obviously, and I am not doing a ton with this bike, just for money and time reasons right now. But I will keep doing the videos every so often. I am going to make a video of me breaking down the other caliper and pulling these carbs apart again and putting the smaller OEM 75.5 jets in it. If you're interested in that, just keep an eye out and I will try to upload that shortly. Again, thank you to everyone who has watched and stuck around to the end. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Editing me here again. Just wanted to cut in one more time and say that I appreciate all the people who found the last video and who have found this video and watched it. It means a lot. Got a lot more views and engagement than I thought it would. Not a ton, but enough for me to just be a little bit surprised. Thank you if you got all the way through, and I will put up a playlist with this bike in it for the project going forward. Not sure how often I'll be able to upload everything and edit everything. Life's a little busy, but I will try to be a lot better than doing these month-and-a-half distances, because this video, it's about 2.5 weeks since I've recorded it and edited it. Thank you.